Today's verse 159 from the book of 5, Anguttara Nikaya, Udāyī. The title of the sutta is Udāyī. Thus have I heard, on one occasion, the Blessed One was dwelling at Kosambi in Gosita's park. Now on that occasion, the Venerable Udāyī, surrounded by a large assembly of lay people, was sitting, teaching the Dhamma. The Venerable Ananda saw this and approached the Blessed One, paid homage to him, sat down to one side and said, Bhante, the Venerable Udāyī, surrounded by a large assembly of lay people, is teaching the Dhamma. It isn't easy, Ananda, to teach the Dhamma to others. One who teaches the Dhamma to others should first set up 5 qualities internally. What 5? Having determined, I will give a progressive talk. One should teach the Dhamma to others. Having determined, I will give a talk that shows reasons. One should give the Dhamma to others. One should teach the Dhamma to others. The having determined part is in square bracket. It means it's inserted by the translator, in this case, Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi, to give a bit more clarity. Having determined, I will give a talk out of sympathy. One should teach the Dhamma to others. Having determined, I will not give a talk while intent on material gain. One should teach the Dhamma to others. Having determined, I will give a talk without harming myself or others. One should teach the Dhamma to others. It isn't easy, Ananda, to teach the Dhamma to others. One who teaches the Dhamma to others should first set up these 5 qualities internally. Yeah. So there are 5 qualities. So you notice that in this sutta, the title is Udāyī, which is the name of that venerable. Many suttas are named after either the name of the venerable or the person who is the main character in that sutta, or the theme of the sutta itself. So for some translators, when they have Udāyī, then they will have the English translation as to Udāyī. So that you sort of know that, okay, this is a sutta to Udāyī. And then you notice that this sutta starts with thus have I heard, but the other suttas just go straight into it. You notice? The past few suttas that I shared don't have the thus have I heard. So in the Chinese Mahayana tradition, we tend to emphasize a lot on, this is a real sutta because it starts with thus have I heard. But you notice that in many of the Nikayas, it doesn't start that way. It is said that when Venerable Ananda recited the suttas in the first council, he would begin with thus have I heard. That this is what he has said. And so he's telling the assembly of 500 arahants what he has said. And you notice that here it also lists out where the Buddha was, and then a bit of background on what happened. But in other suttas, it was simply the Buddha going directly. In many of these cases, these differences happen because of the process of recitation. So a lot of the suttas have similar ones, and they basically just recite the ones that is unique. The specifics I also don't know, because the specifics, the whole process. Unfortunately, I don't recall reading anywhere where they say, they have archival preface to indicate what part was redacted, what part was abridged, and so on. No such mention. Yeah, so 5 things or 5 factors. One, that he will give a progressive talk. Yeah, so initially, maybe give a talk on generosity, then give a talk on observing the precepts, then give a talk on developing of concentration, then give a talk on developing wisdom. So gradually, progressively, from worldly to otherworldly to the supramundane. So the next one is to give a talk that shows reasons. Yeah. So don't just tell people ABC, but don't explain. Yeah. That's why we listen to Dhamma talks. There's always a lot of parable, analogy, and explanation. Yeah. Why? Why is this important? Because so that the listener can understand. Yeah. For it to be progressive, so that it gradually leads people towards enlightenment. Yeah. And it's not so, and at the same time, not simply just on day one, okay, attain enlightenment. Yeah. There's this series of suttas where the Buddha is seen to give teachings to a group of merchants. Yeah, so that's a very good example of progressive talk. Yeah, where initially the Buddha teach them how to obtain worldly sensual pleasure. Then after that, once they are settled in that, then the Buddha gave them teachings on how to obtain the heavenly sensual pleasure. Then once the Buddha see that they are able to, they have attained that, they are able to achieve that, then the Buddha gave them teachings on how to attain the bliss, the rapture and joy of concentration, yeah, which goes beyond that. And ultimately, when they are ready, then the Buddha teach them how to attain liberation. So, number 3, I will give a talk out of sympathy. Yeah. It's interesting that the word sympathy appears because I seldom see this word appear. Usually it's a compassion, out of compassion. I would presume this is actually used synonymously. That means you have the you give a teaching in order to benefit the other person. Yeah, that you see the person that at the current state, this person is suffering, so give a teaching so that the person can be free of suffering. I will not give a talk while intent on material gain. Yeah, so this is also very crucial. Yeah, if you are to give a talk with the intent on material gain, then we are not sincere in giving the teaching. Yeah, then we are just giving teaching, thinking, what Dhamma talk will get me the most ang pao? Then yeah. Then what happened? Yeah, in other talks I've explained. Then sometimes maybe the right thing to say is to say A, but on the fear that the listener will be upset, don't say A. Yeah. If they are upset, then don't give me ang pao. Don't say. Yeah. Then besides Dhamma talk, maybe the listener, yeah, has gone off course already. Yeah. Or maybe not doing things right. Then if I correct them, then they don't give me ang pao. Yeah. So the Buddha said, no. Still correct. Still must be. So number 5, I will give a talk without harming myself or others. So it must be to benefit. Yeah. So when giving a talk, you shouldn't harm yourself also. can't really think of a talk that will harm ourselves. Oh yeah, maybe in one case, like if let's say you give a talk and you know that if you say it, the other person will kill you, then maybe you shouldn't give a talk. Yeah, and as a result, the person also harm themselves because the person get so upset that they kill you. Yeah, so it isn't easy, Ananda, to teach the Dhamma to others. Yeah. So this is for Sifu. Correct? No. Anyone who gives Dhamma talk. Yeah. You can give Dhamma talk also. Huh? Don't give public Dhamma talk lah. Give to your loved one. Yeah. Day in, day out. Come, I give you Dhamma talk. No. So unsolicited Dhamma talk is not welcome. Yeah. Don't give Dhamma when people don't ask for it. Only when people ask for it, then you give. That's why traditionally we actually have a process where the listeners, those who want Dhamma, will have to invite, do the invitation for Dhamma. Yeah, it is to serve that purpose. Okay, that's all I have for today. Put the palms together. Unless you all have any questions, no, huh? Oh, Phyllis, yeah, I see the face, the question face.
Sorry, Sifu, I'm a bit confused. You say the 5 qualities, so does it mean this 5 quality is what we are looking for a teacher?
These 5 qualities are qualities. Well, you can say that, but in this case, it is more directed to the speaker than the listener.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
It can cut both ways also, but the emphasis here is that those who are going to give a talk should make sure that they have these 5 qualities.
So okay, understand. Just now you mentioned the 5 qualities, like the last one, is it to benefit others?
To make sure that you don't harm yourself and others.
So it's referring to a venerable or referring to us lay person in case, I don't mean by teaching, like in case we want to guide somebody, no.
Well, yeah, so in this sutta, right?
Yeah.
The person that Venerable Ananda was referring to is a venerable, is a monk. But when the Buddha replied, he didn't reply saying when monks give talks. He said when a person, so it's a general thing. So anyone who wants to give a talk, should give a Dhamma talk, should consider these 5 things. Make sure you have these 5 qualities first.
So sorry, Sifu, just now a bit fast. So can you repeat the 5 qualities again?
The 5 qualities.
Yeah.
So the 5 qualities are, let's see whether we can remember. Can you remember? Yeah. So the first one, what is the first one? wait. Slowly, let's try. Okay, the last one, we know that it is not to harm yourself or others, right? So the first one, that we there's one in between, which is out of sympathy, and then the one before that, before the 5th one, is not to give a talk out of gain. So sympathy, gain, and then not harming oneself or others. And then let me refer the first one and the second one. Okay. So first one is progressive, to give a progressive talks. And then the second one is to give a talk that shows reason. And the third one is to give a talk out of sympathy. And the fourth one is not to give out of material gain. Yeah. And the fifth is so that you don't harm yourself and others. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Sư Phụ. Thanks, I appreciate it.
So what's the first one? Don't look at the list. Don't look at the list. Yeah, so the first one is progressive talk. Second one is to give a talk, to give reasons. Yeah. And then the third one, out of sympathy. The fourth is not to give a talk for material gain. And the fifth is stop looking down. Look down. Who wouldn't know? After you write down, then you look at it. Okay, then after you don't look at it, then you can commit to memory. The fifth one is to give a talk, not harming oneself or others. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and as I said, it should apply to anyone who wants to give a talk. And don't think of talk as in like, oh, it must be, you know, a very formal thing. Even if you want to share Dhamma with others, you should consider this. Yeah. Okay. Put the palms together. 愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿得智慧真明了，
愿得智慧真明了，
不愿罪障悉消除，
不愿罪障悉消除，
世世常行菩萨道。
世世常行菩萨道。
阿弥陀佛。
阿弥陀佛。
Till we meet again, may we be guided and protected by the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And as always,
乖乖，谢谢师父。
okay,
师父，
have a progressive day ahead.
Yes, Sư Phụ.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Take care, stay safe. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
拜拜，师父。
Thank you, 师父，拜拜。
Thank you，师父。Thank you，师父。拜拜，师父。
Bye.
Bye bye.